First, Henry, you've been an amazing part of the city of Albuquerque, the community, since I was little and playing basketball at Valley High School, and you doing the games on KDEF back when you had the radio station, and my buddies used to get really excited when we knew we were going to be on the radio. When I was a player here, being on your radio show and doing interviews, when you were back as a news anchor, when you were the sports anchor at CBS, I mean, all those things, our community values you. And in honor of your 45th year, Henry T. Wow. There you go. Thank you for all you've done for us. Thank you to do our community.
Thank you, guys.
First off, thank you to David Williams and Frank and Steve and everybody for setting this up. I think it's a really first-class deal. There's great food. Levy's does a great job. They do a great job for our kids during fall camp and for our university. And so there's lunch here for you all to grab when this is done. I already partook, and it's unbelievable. We do things first class around here, and that continues. And so we have great people working here that make that stuff happen. A lot of excitement, getting ready to play a game on Saturday. The Maine Black Bears come in, a good football team from up in the Northeast. Let's talk about tickets real quick. Last year we sold 6,700 tickets, season tickets. This year we're at 94% of resale. We're at 6,300. We're at about 10,000 tickets out 8,000 tickets out. We'll be around, I think, 10 to 15, 16,000 people. Hopefully we get to 20 for Saturday. We've got some new things going on around here in our stadium that are really cool that has been a challenge last year with concessions and all those things. We've got some new grab-and-go food as we work our way around the stadium. You see some digital scoreboards along the sideline down there that's a big upgrade. Game atmosphere. I mean, obviously there was a story about losing our cottonwood tree in the southeast corner of the stadium that's been there since 1960. It's being removed today for safety. The inside of that tree was rotted out because of a big storm, the monsoons that have been unbelievable around here all the way through our fall camp. With that combination of that tree being on a hill, and half of it fell off last week, and the inside of it was pretty damaged. So we had an arborist come out and determine that it couldn't be saved. So they decided to remove it. And although it's a beautiful tree and sad, it creates movement in our stadium, and that's okay. I mean, things change. We've got some beautiful ponderosa pines over here. There's not very many stadiums in the country that have trees inside of them. So enjoy the beauty that we have. We'll miss it. We'll reflect on it. I had them actually stole one of those branches off it, and I'll take it home. So it's kind of cool. But with that being said, all the students and everybody that sat under that tree in a change of venue here to create some atmosphere in our stadium and meeting with the students, because I was a student here obviously a long time ago, and when I used to go to the basketball games over in the pit before they had the Lobo level, which I really enjoy the Lobo level, especially now that I get to partake in it, but we used to have seats down on the sideline at midcourt as students, and you got there as soon as you could, and you ran down to the bottom, and we had a whole bunch of fun. And then when they had the Lobo level, we got bumped up to row 20, which was still really cool right there at midcourt. And then prior administration decided to move the students without giving them any input whatsoever. And it was a pretty big deal around here, moving them to section 26 when they'd been at midcourt for the opening of the pit in 1966. But they didn't give them any input. And I've been talking about since I've been here, wanting to create an atmosphere for the students to, one, enjoy the game. One, we need to get more students here. But moving into the north end zone over there with what used to be the Red Menace and now is the north end zone Howlers, and moving the band in the corner over there and creating some atmosphere down there. It'll do a couple things for the students. It'll get them out of the sun so they're not directly right into it. It'll keep them away from this area down here where they have some more amenities down there with the concessions and all those. And it'll put it with a group that enjoys themselves and likes to have excitement. So now we're adding the student body up there to the north end zone. We met with the student body government. We met with the students, and it was unanimous. I mean, they were excited to partake in that area of the stadium, which I think is really, really cool. Now, when we sold the vision, I probably sold it ecstatically because I think it's a great idea, but they were on board. And if they would have had any reservation whatsoever, I would have been all for making it the best that they wanted. We had a barbecue with them on Saturday. It started out originally all just freshmen, and then we added a bunch of students that came over. We gave them T-shirts with Fear the Fangs on it that we asked them to wear to the game. We'll have more T-shirts to hand out for students as they come in. The student tailgate lot is still over here on the east side where they can enter. The great thing that the ticketing department has done, and I know it was a big change last year with the touchless tickets and all the things going digital, is the students can now get a student ticket all season long, and they do it one time on their phone. And our football players have been on campus helping those guys figure out how to do it. We put QR codes up. We've handed out QR codes to make it as easy and simple as possible for the student body. And if we can create an environment with the student body, that stuff becomes contagious within our entire stadium. Now, winning obviously creates the buzz and environment that gets more people to come. And I say it all the time, I love the community of Albuquerque. I love the city of Albuquerque. We're almost 1 million people. We're at over 950,000 if you include the greater metropolitan area. There's no problem. There's no reason we can't get 35 to 40,000 people in here. Now, you win, you give them a reason to come back. We have some really cool ideas marketing-wise. We're down some people, but the people in that department are busting their tails, and we'll put on a great event. We're in the process of hiring some people. Now, the people that we have lost have gone on to other opportunities that have bettered themselves. And so we're proud of them. And that means that we're doing a good job in certain venues here, that people are affording themselves bigger opportunities that sometimes are better for their families. And so we're in the process of replacing some of those positions. We had about 5 of them hit right at the end of summer. And so we're in the process of upgrading those. And so game day will be a whole lot of fun. It's going to be a little bit of an atmosphere. We've got some things that when we score touchdowns and noisemakers and all those wonderful things to help the environment. The north end zone over there where the Howl Zone is, and the northeast corner right over here will be a bunch of tents and places you can bring your children, and you can come and have a great environment, a great day on Saturday, and enjoy yourselves out there before the game. So we're in the process of, we're trying to alleviate the traffic problems there on Cesar Chavis at University. You can come in through both sides on Gibson. You can come down University. So there's a lot of opportunity for things to be better. Last year for the New Mexico State game, we obviously weren't as prepared as we could have been. And that was a great lesson for our department. I thought Eddie and David did a great job of leading the way to fix it. And as we continue to win games, that 30,000 people should be a problem, and that excites me. I'm excited about the opportunity to play. I'm excited about our fall schedule at home, the September schedule to open up with Maine, Boise State on a Friday night, UTEP, where we're going to honor 3 of the best teams that have performed for the University of New Mexico in football, between the 62 championship team, the 82 Justice Bowl championship team, whether you want to say they went to a bowl game or not, and the 97 Inside.com Bowl, and the team that finished second lost in the championship game in Las Vegas. We're going to honor those guys on September before we go to LSU. So we have a great opportunity at a great environment with people, and I can tell you this, the football team that we put out there, I'm excited about this football team and the competitiveness that they've shown, the opportunity that we have to compete against the people that we're playing, and the progression and step forwards that we've made in our program. I thought fall camp was really good. I think the last 2 weeks have been an adjustment now that they've been in school. I thought the energy out there was great. I'll tell you this, they're excited to play a football game against somebody else. They're tired of running into each other. They're getting a little grouchy and grumpy, and you get a few more pushes and shoves and all those things. And that's good. I want them to be that way. I want them to have that taste of who can we go out and try and just destroy. And when I say destroy, I'm talking in a physical manner. Because that's why you play football. It's a fun game. It's an aggressive game. You train all year long for the opportunity to have 12 guaranteed opportunities. This year we have 6 guaranteed at home. There's 7 football games in University Stadium in the football season. We've got our 6, and we've got the New Mexico Bowl. And I hope we're playing in the New Mexico Bowl. But regardless, there's 7 opportunities for the city of Albuquerque to fill this place up. And we should take advantage of it, because there's only 7 out of 365 days of the year, and all the stuff that we talk about. there's only 7 opportunities to go out there and be nuts and be crazy and have all kinds of fun and do those things. And we've made it affordable as a university. It's not breaking the bank to come to a football game at all. And so come on out and watch a team that's going to play their tails off. They'll be entertaining. They'll be fun to watch. And as we continue to progress in this program and win games, that number will grow. So we're excited. The 124th football team to take the field for the University of New Mexico will start Saturday at 6 o'clock. Weather's going to be nice. I'm super excited. What questions do we got? Go ahead, Van.
When you look at your opponent, what stands out about your opponent?
Maine is a really good football team, personnel-wise. They won 5 of their last 6 games last year, including a big victory over Massachusetts, an FBS opponent. They're big up front. The quarterback, Joe Fagnano, is played in 4 games last year, hurt his ankle. They were very successful when he was at the helm offensively. And then Coach Jordan's is very much like myself as far as he was a Maine alumni, went away, had some success on the defensive side of the ball, got the opportunity to lead his alma mater, and now he's back. They've kept some continuity on the offensive side of the ball, so the personnel on that side will continue with what they've been doing for the past 5 years, and they've been pretty good statistically. He's got an attitude. He's from Maine. The clippings that I've seen in some of the news articles, obviously he does a good job with those kids because they believe in him. And when you have a football team that this is on their schedule, it's a great opportunity for them, because if I'm Coach Stevens, I'm looking at that thing going, boys, they were 3-9 last year. They were 2-10 or 2-5 in 2020, and they were 2-10 before that. And we're going to go across the country, and we're going to compete. And why not us? I said all the time, why not us? So we'll come in and we'll get there. They're going to come in here and give us their best opportunity, and they'll come in here believing they can win. And I hope they should. Why play this game if you don't expect to win? And so our kids, I've been a part of 2 FCS teams that have beaten teams that they shouldn't have. In 2006, we mentioned earlier, Portland State came in here and whooped our tail. In 2013, Jimmy Garoppolo and Eastern Illinois came to San Diego State, and we were expected to be a really good team, and we lost 40-19. We went to a bowl game. We were able to turn it around, but we didn't do a good job coaching them and getting our kids to understand that these boys are coming here to try and kill you. And we didn't prepare them well enough. So I don't think a 3-9 football team should have that problem, but we'll continue to get them ready. I know they're excited to play, and I know Maine puts up a big challenge.
And I talked to Sherrod. He's getting a start, and he's had quite the story as far as just trying to get to.
For sure. Sherrod White was the University of New Mexico recruited him out of high school. He ended up going to Mount San Jacinto. He's done a great job. We signed him in January. He was here for the spring semester, did a phenomenal job working out, is a great young man, and he's got some he runs physical, and he's got some speed to him. I think we have some guys in the backfield that can touch the ball and go 80 yards, which we haven't had since I've been here. And so that creates some excitement at that position. But Sherrod he'll get the start on Saturday, and we're excited to watch him run in there and see what he can do. Go ahead there, Brandon.
On offense, everyone knows you named Miles the starting quarterback recently, but how's the rest of the offense took shape? You've had injuries, you've had some illnesses among the offense. How has the entire depth chart kind of took shape the last few weeks?
Up front, it's been the same 5 guys that we started with in the spring. Now, DJ Wingfield, who our right tackle, was out for about a week with a strained patella tendon. He looked really good the last 2 days physically, so a combination of his knee is better, and he probably had a little bit more rest than some of the other guys, so he was a little bit fresher as far as that goes. The 2 guard spots, Isaac Gutierrez on the left side has done from where he came when he got here, my first year, to where he is right now, is unbelievable physically. He was probably 320 when he got here. He's running around 290 right now. He's pretty lean. He can move his feet pretty well. He's got the ability to move inside and play center, which is exciting if something were to happen to Colin James, CJ. So I'm really pleased with where he's at. On the other side, Issei Shanko Matatuatia is a redshirt freshman that played in 4 games last year, that I'm really excited that he's here at the University of New Mexico. He's a good player. He's a good kid. He's physical, really good in space. athletic. These guys are all anywhere from 6'3" to 6'5" across the board. I think Isaac is the only one under 300 pounds, and that is by design. J.C. Davis, our left tackle, he's 6'5", he's 315, but he is a gigantic human being. And the two things about the two guys outside, DJ on the right and CJ on the left, or JC on the left, I mean, look, this is great, okay? It's DJ, it's Issei, it's CJ, and then you got regular old Isaac, and then JC on the outside. So Lenz has his acronyms, and they go off every day. He's got a challenge just to be able to communicate with those kids. But those guys have done a lot of things to gel together, and I'm excited about their ability. And I'm excited to see them go against somebody else other than our guys on Saturday. Now, at tight end, Will Dennis and Trace Bruckler are kind of leading the way. Connor Widoff sprained his ankle the other day. Hopefully he'll be okay by Saturday. And then Elijah Queen and Caleb Mara, those two have come a long way. Elijah Queen is 6'5". He's 235 pounds right now. Over the next 2 years, he's going to be a name that is one of the best tight ends in this league with Trace Bruckler. Big kid that can catch, create some matchup problems. Now, Jacob Trussell, who was really going to create some matchup problems for people, tore his Achilles right before fall camp started, so we won't have him for the season. But he's a name to remember down the road because he can run, and he's another 6'5" kid. On the outside, between Luke and Jordan Porter, we've got some speed. Deuce Jones, who we moved from corner to wide receiver, might be the fastest guy on our team. And I've said this a couple times now, and I get chirping from all the other guys on the team who believe they're faster than he is. So that's good. But those three guys can take the top off. And so that'll give us some opportunities to stretch the field, open it up, take 8 to 10 deep shots a game, and see if those guys can go up and make plays. Now you've got two true freshmen in that mix, Tristan White and Jamar Sanders, who are in the lines of Luke Weissong, that they're shifty, they're quick, they're athletic, they've got great hands, they're great athletes. They can be the pitchback guy coming around on some of that stuff. They can line up in the backfield. They can take handoffs. They can do the fly sweep stuff. So we've got a couple guys, and both those guys are 10-4, 10-300 meter guys, which you can't coach that. Now, if you get a full track team, you're not going to be a very good football team. And those guys were all really, really good players in high school that ran track. So we've got some speed that we haven't had within those positions. And what does that mean? Nothing until we prove it on Saturday. But we've got some opportunities. Go ahead, Henry.
Coach, fans love to be entertained. They love excitement. Are your Lobos entertaining? Are they exciting?
I think they're going to be excited to play, and I think they're going to be a team that the community can be proud of. They're going to play their tails off. They're going to play physical football the way it's supposed to be played. We have some guys on offense that can be electric, that can touch the ball and make big plays. We're going to throw the ball deep. I mean, we're not going to be a 3 to 5 time throw it a game. You can't win championships doing that. We're going to throw it 25, 30, 35 times a game. We're going to run it 30, 40 times a game. We're going to be physical. You see a Lobo player laying on the field, it's because he's almost dead, not because he's hurt. I mean, if they can get off the field, they will get off the field. They've proven that. Trey Hall had a broken ankle last year and limped his way off the field. That thing was split at the bottom. I mean, that's the mentality that they have built among themselves and who we're going to be. And so they're going to be really exciting the way they play football. And, you know, what's exciting is winning. Winning's exciting. So ask me that question again in November. Go ahead.
Coach, so you talked about you're implementing a lot of new ways to help drive the fan base.
Uh-huh.
So how important is the 3-game homestand at the beginning of the season and trying to change that fan culture?
Super important. One, Labor Day weekend in Albuquerque is a big weekend for people to go out of town. A lot of people go down to Elephant Butte, which is a really cool place to go get in the water. It's kind of the last opportunity to get out of town now that school started before Christmas and all those things. So having the game Saturday night at 6 o'clock, the ones that are in town, I mean, not 950,000 people don't go out of town, so there's an opportunity to get people here. People that want to just come check out an opportunity for the first time should do it, and you might like it and want to come back. The opportunity the second week with Boise State coming to town, who's perennially a league favorite. They're picked to win their side of our side of the bracket this year. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate educators on that day. I mean, we've got a deal online that you can nominate teachers that we're going to give out awards to. There's been numerous teachers in my tenure in my life here in Albuquerque. The principal at Navajo Elementary School, Tracy Herrera, was my 3rd and 4th and 5th grade teacher. And she still today, Diane Diaz, Joe Diaz's wife, was my 1st grade teacher. She still today made unbelievable impacts on my life. So we get an opportunity to celebrate those people on that day. There's a couple high school football games, and I want to give Adrian Ortega and APS. I had numerous conversations with them from the spring, and they did everything they could to help us try and accommodate some of the things that we talked about, because I'm big on Friday night football longs to high school football. And when TV tells us we're going to play on a certain day and we don't have a choice, it is what it is. And an opportunity to play Boise State on national TV on a Friday night, even though that's high school night, and I know there's a football game between La Cueva and Volcano Vista, and it's La Cueva's homecoming. Academy Chargers have their first night game of the season, and they've done a great job over there. So those 2 games we're going to compete against, which hurts a little bit. But an opportunity for the schools that aren't playing and teachers and educators to come on out to the football game and support us, and have an opportunity to compete against the best team on our side in the league should be exciting for the community of Albuquerque. It should give people a reason to come out. Now, if we can have some success against Maine, the opportunity to play against Boise State, we should have a big crowd. Will it be sold out? I don't know. It would hurt my feelings not to be, but I can live with that because we're still in the process of giving people a reason to come. Now, we have success the first 2 weeks. I will be highly, highly disappointed, and I will say it right now, and people can crucify me. I will be highly disappointed in the city of Albuquerque if the game against UTEP isn't sold out. Very disappointed. So I think September has an opportunity to be a great month for college football, and setting this up all the way till December 17th when the New Mexico Bowl is played in our stadium. Go ahead, Beth.
Talked to numerous players who have said they've gained upwards of 20 pounds. When you think about your defense, you think about the leadership, the talent level that they bring back and they bring to your team. Mm-hmm. What do you hope to see on that side of the ball this season?
A physical demeanor that does not stop. We're not a dirty football team, but the way we play defense, there's a really fine line of when to stop. I don't want them to be cheap. I don't want them to be dirty. We have to be a smart football team and a disciplined football team. But if the pile is even wiggling, there should be 3 or 4 guys trying to get a piece of whatever's wiggling. And when we got guys lined up, you got to take your shot. We preach around here all the time, running the football, playing with effort, playing hard, being physical, being mean. And if a corner has a wide receiver and they throw a 5-yard hitch and the corner holds them up, there should be 3, 4, 5, 6 guys barreling down trying to just annihilate that guy if he's still wiggling. And because they're bigger, faster, and stronger, some of those things, they help. And by the end of the game, all of a sudden, that's when turnovers happen. That's when balls start hitting the ground. That's why balls get tipped in the air, because those guys are afraid of getting hit like they've been for an entire 60 minutes. And a perfect example of somebody that's gained weight, Luke Weissong played last year at 165 pounds. He's around 185 pounds right now. That 20 pounds will allow him to take a beating because he gets a beating every week because of the way we use him, and sustain some of the injuries that he wasn't able to last year. We didn't play him in the last game, and he still holds it against me, but that's okay. He wasn't prepared to play a 12-game season at 160 pounds. You can't. You just can't last. And so Derek Baker has done a phenomenal job in our weight room, and our guys are walking around with a little bit of confidence. They walk around, they look in the mirror a little too much, but it's better than them avoiding mirrors, so it's good. Go ahead, Steve.
What's going on, Nate Jones? What's his role for week 1?
I'm going to make some people mad. Nate Jones still owes me. So Nate Jones will play against Boise. Nate Jones will play against Boise.
As far as goals go, like during the offseason, would you say that the defense met expectations or exceed expectations as far as the defense goes?
As far for last season?
This
Off-season?
goals and stuff.
No, I don't set goals for those guys in the off-season as far as playing good defense is about keeping people out of the end zone and getting off the field. Playing really good on third down and keeping them out of the end zone. And we've done some things to get better at being third year in the program and understanding the scheme and understanding the concepts of the scheme will give us a chance to make some adjustments that we haven't been able to make in the last 2 years on the sideline, because those guys can do stuff that they haven't practiced now. We can call a defense that we might have used last year in a game plan against Nevada that we haven't practiced, but they understand the concept and where the pieces are supposed to fit. So I think that gives us a step forward. I think those are some of the things that we did through the offseason that are really important to being better on defense. Now, we finished 44th in the country in total defense last year, and it's the best that we've been in total defense since 2008 when we left. 44 ain't very good. Not when you're used to being top 5, top 10, top 15. And so I don't want our kids to think that 44 is anywhere near acceptable. They don't ever hear that it's acceptable from me, nor do they hear that from Coach Long. I mean, our job is to be really, really good on third down and keep them out of the end zone. And all those other statistics, yardage, all those things, they take care of themselves. There's only one statistic on defense that matters, and that's points. That's the only one. And as dumb as that sounds, if you keep that down to a low number, all those other statistics take care of themselves magically. It's unbelievable. When we were top 5 in the country in total defense, we gave up 12 points a game. Well, that elevated to about 240 yards a game total offense. We gave up about 70 yards rushing a game. Those guys took great pride in doing that. And our guys were proud of being 44. I don't want them to be proud of being 44. We made progress, but we want to be great. We don't want to be good. And they know that if you want to be great, don't do what's required. Nobody's ever been great doing what's required. You want to be great, go above and beyond. So we've made progress.
We did say about Justin Harris, who did that, the interview thing with the team.
Justin, what was it, just in time? This just in? This just in? Just in time was better. But this just in, Justin's a character. And all those things are really good for social media. They're good to promote. They're good for people to see our football team in a different light. Because we have 115 guys on our football team that are really, really good kids. And they have all kinds of different personalities. Now, they're 18 to 23 years old, and they can be knuckleheads and screw up at the drop of a hat. And we try our very best every day to give them messages about those things, the things that have been in the media lately. I mean, every time we start every single morning off with a team meeting, and I try and give them examples about how they can do things that'll change their life drastically, and try and educate them and give them advice. In a place like the city of Albuquerque, everybody knows who our football team is. Everybody knows who our basketball teams are. And you have an obligation to represent yourself, your family, and this university. And so you have a high responsibility of doing those things. So when they get an opportunity to see Justin Harris in a completely different realm than he is on the football field, I think it's great for our community, and hopefully we'll get people to come on out because of it.
Is Nate going to suit up on Saturday?
No,
What's that? What?
I don't want him to. What else?
Coach, the aggressive play calling last year, I mean, you guys not afraid to go for it on fourth and short. Is that something we can expect again this year? And just, even as you went through that last year, what did you see just as far as the confidence it built in the offense?
It gives them confidence that I believe in what they're doing. It gives me opportunities to yell at our offensive coordinator when we go for it on 4th and 1 3 times up the middle and we get stoned. And we're going to be aggressive. Those kind of things. Last year there was times in the season that the outcome of the game was not necessarily as important as building for the future of this program. Instilling an attitude of belief, instilling an attitude of, okay, this is it, boys, let's go. And so we'll continue down that path. When we have opportunities to win games and we have opportunities to be in the conference championship race, those things are differently calculated. If we're playing really, really good on defense, I've got no problem going for 4th and 1 at midfield because they're going to have a hard time scoring. If we're not slowing them down, then we're probably going to punt the ball and see if we can make them make mistakes on a longer field. And there's days that we'll stone people, and there's days that some people have your number or kids just can't seem to make a play, and so you have to calculate that. But aggressive nature is our football team. And so those play calls help them with that mentality. If we can execute them a little bit better, then they go even further. But they know that I have a belief in what we do as a program, and those kind of calls are going to happen.
Anything
Go ahead, Rick.
Arguably, Graham Lee is probably the last quarterback you and him had that was truly a run-pass quarterback. Could do one as well as the other.
Maybe him and Donovan. Donovan ran the ball pretty dang good. People forget how good he was. But Graham Lee, who was a teammate of mine, was unbelievable at that. And Donald Sellers in that realm with Coach Fran. Yes, sir.
Can Miles be that guy? And how much do you want him to run?
Miles athletically can be that guy. I thought going into fall camp, if Miles was our quarterback, that we were going to have to adjust a lot of the things that we did on offense because of the way he was moving around in the spring, coming off of a broken leg. I don't feel that way. What I've seen over the last week in practice, Miles is not as fast as Donald Sellers was, but he has a lot of the same twitchy and athleticness that Donald did. Graham was one tough. I mean, he was a great quarterback, but he didn't matter how he got hit, and he did a really good job of reading the option. He had a fullback and Chris Shelton behind him that he knew if something was going to go awry, just follow the thumper through the hole and everything was going to be okay. Can Miles be that guy? Yeah, he can. And schematically, we'll look very similar to that 97 team in some of the things we do. Our quarterbacks haven't gotten hurt running the ball. Now, they could. Our quarterbacks have gotten hurt because we couldn't protect them in pass coverage, dropping back and pass. So I hope we've remedied some of that. But he can do. We won't have to tailor the offense because of things he can't do. And then the other two behind him, CJ and Justin, and I'm not sure really which order. It's kind of an order right now. We don't have to tailor the play calling if either one of them has to go in the game. And then Isaiah Chavis, who people around here ask a lot of questions about why I need your quarterback. Well, he's not the best one, but he's one of the best teammates on this team in wanting this team to be successful. He's been so vital in helping all three of those guys learn the offense and different things, and we got some packages for Isaiah. Isaiah's our backup deep snapper. Isaiah wants to be on special teams. Isaiah is one of the team favorites as a player, as one of the boys, and he's got a huge part and role on this football team. It's just not the starting quarterback role, and he's accepted that, which makes him even more valuable to this football program. What else? Go ahead, Rob.
I asked you one the other day. I think it would be great for these guys to hear the balance between preparing for the team that you're playing and the defense that it plays, and the defense that your team runs, which is so unique in terms of the team sessions in practice.
Right.
And when they're live and they're 11 on 11, it's often against a defense they won't see that weekend. And this is a perfect example this week, and how you manage the push-pull of those two things.
There's a fine line in preparing for a football game as far as how you prepare with the scout teams, how you prepare with your good guys against good guys, and what is actually going to be beneficial for your football team. If we did nothing but our first defense against our first offense in what we do and what they do, we might as well be in spring practice. But you have to go speed, good versus good, in order for those guys to be prepared for Saturday. They've got to be able to persevere through the things that they may not see. But we do some service periods where the first team defense scouts for the first team offense and the first team offense scouts for the first team defense. We do some periods where it's our stuff against our stuff on both sides of the ball. And then we have separate scout team periods where the guys that aren't going to play in the game have a significant role in preparing our guys for the football game. And wanting to get them fresh, you don't want your good guys to run into each other full speed too often, but they have to do it enough to sharpen the iron against each other to be prepared to play. And it's a little bit different. I mean, defensively, people view us from the outside as kind of like preparing for a wishbone team on offense. Everybody hates to play Air Force as a defensive guy because it's so different. Well, we're vaguely different that way, and people don't prepare because they don't see it every week. And I mean, this goes all the way back to the 1982 team that we're going to honor against UTEP and Joe Lee Dunn. That defense didn't have a guy bigger than 230 pounds on it in an era where defensive linemen were already up to 270 and 280. And they finished in the top 15 in the country in total defense that year, and the only loss was to a really good BYU team. Now, he wasn't the head coach, so they didn't do a whole lot defensively during practice to help them, so they did a great job schematically. some of my mentorship from Coach Long, and it's some of the greater compliments that he's given me is some of the things that we do defensively during practice that we probably haven't done for 30 years, because I think there's some added benefit to both sides. Now, we were pretty darn successful the way we did it, and I think Coach Long is a genius in getting a football team ready to play, and he won 3 championships in a 5-year period and all those things. And so we've run some ideas and done some things that we might have done a little bit different this year, and we'll see. If they don't work, then he can tell me how dumb I was, and we'll figure it out. What else? Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy lunch. Enjoy food. Come on out Saturday. It's going to be a fun event. Thank you, guys. Go Lobos.